So the sauce is pretty easy. Teach you how to make it without having to buy the canned sauce off the shelf. Even a little cheaper, and I think tastes better. And I get plum tomatoes. I drain all the water off of them. You can get special tomatoes. I even forget what they're called if you're really into it. But these work fine. I take that. I take about a lot of garlic, teaspoonful of garlic, and I've got some fresh basil right off a plant I have out back. I shove that all in there. Try not to make a mess here. And I just blend it up. Right in the can, so you don't have to make a mess. Maybe add a little salt. And I've got some Italian herbs. Got some Italian herbs, there we go. Put those right in the can as well. Hit it one more time with the emulsifier. There you go. You have pizza sauce. And you can store this in like a mason jar, glass mason jar, and it'll keep up to a week in the refrigerator. On to the next thing. So the first thing I'll do is I come out to my oven. This is my little outdoor kitchen, and I have an Ooni oven. It's one of several I've owned. This is my favorite oven yet. I have a dream oven, if I haven't mentioned that, but I will show you sometime during this presentation my dream oven. But this is the one that my wife will let me have at this point. Okay, so I'm gonna come around here. It's a propane stove. I'm gonna reach around the back here, and I will start it up. Let it get nice and hot. And you can see this gets about 900 degrees in there. I can already feel the heat. Down here is a stone floor, so the pizza does not stick. The flames come up from the bottom, wrap around the top, so it gets the top of the pizza. Really getting super hot already. So I will let this sit for 25 minutes usually. That's the time I found that it best works, and I'll get all my pizza done and get everything going, and then it'll be hot enough for me. So while we're on the subject of ovens, this is my Vision grill that I've cooked lots of pizzas on. Many successful pizzas done on here. Do that using a pizza stone, and you put that, I put it on the second rack so it's not directly on the heat. And when I use this one, I used to let it get hot and then put the pizza on it with the stone. I do know people who let the pizza stone get hot, real hot, like my pizza oven, and then launch the pizza on top of there. I just never thought that I would have the accuracy to line up the perfect pizza on top of there. But it's supposed to work really, really well. It's supposed to get really, really crispy. So there's one alternative. Here's another alternative to a pizza oven. If you have a gas grill too, propane grill, you can put your pizza stone. And they make different size pizza stones. So if you don't have big enough grill to fit that 14-inch round pizza stone on, you can get 12-inch. You can even get a 10-inch. You can either, like I said before, let the pizza stone get extremely hot, then try to launch the pizza on top of it so that crisp gets a little bit more crunchier on the bottom. Or you can do what I do. I would put the pizza right on here, rolled out with my toppings on it, and I would close this when it's about 450 degrees and let it cook, and check every once in a while, lifting up the pizza crust to see if it's burning. Make sure you don't put it on full heat though. You want to put it on, probably medium heat so it gets that stone gradually warm and the flames aren't hitting right against the stone, because you can burn a pizza very easily. Okay, one thing I did want to show you real quick is also the pizza paddles and peels. So a paddle is something like this, used for launching the pizza in the oven. This is one that was given to me by my mom a long time ago. It's kind of sentimental to me. It also works really, really, really well. You put flour on this, and it seems to stay rather cool, so the pizza doesn't stick and it'll slide right into the oven. You'll see that that's one of the biggest challenges of making pizza, is the launch, they call it, putting the pizza into the oven. If you take too long preparing the pizza on top of the paddle, and you don't use a lot of flour to keep it from sticking, it'll get stuck to the pizza, and you'll go to launch it in the oven and it won't scoot off the paddle, it'll get stuck. And that's many reasons why I have messed up many a pizza in my time. So I'm really, really careful about this. I'll put the flour on the paddle. I'll put the pizza on there, and I will get the toppings on there as quickly as possible. I also do this little technique where you can lift up the pizza a little bit And maybe when I get ready to make the pizza, I'll show you what I do, but I lift it up and I'll blow air underneath the pizza. So it makes kind of like that hover approach where the pizza is just kind of hovering and it's got some fresh air underneath it, so it slides right off. But one of the biggest tips I can give you is by lifting that crust up a little bit and blowing underneath the crust, because that makes it slide off so much easier. And of course, use flour. Some people use semolina flour, which is a little bit of corn flour. It's a little bit more coarser, gives you a little bit more crunch. My wife doesn't like the taste, but I use a flour, which you'll see earlier when I show you. You'll see later when I show you. So this is also another paddle I have. This one is from Ooni. I bought this one thinking I would like it more, but I actually like the wooden one better. Can't find these really that much anymore. I've looked online, but I like this one for when I get the pizza into the oven and we have to pull it out real quick, right? This has a little bit of a sharper edge and I can get underneath the pizza and pull it out. And sometimes I'll use this. You'll see me, I use this and I'll pull it out and I'll spin the pizza on this, so make sure you get that rotation of the pizza, and then I'll slide it back in and launch it off again into the pizza oven. And this is your peel. You see these sometimes in the big pizza ovens, the places that have the wood-fired pizza. They use these, and I use it too, to kind of turn the pizza quickly in the oven. You kind of get underneath there, lift it up, and catch the side of the pizza and turn it and turn it and turn it. It's really easy. I like this. I use a combination of all three though, so these are all my tools of the trade. So there you go. All right, another thing I wanted to show you real quick is the pizza gun temperature taker thingy. You can get these online. Sometimes they sell them in kits of pizza, like kits with a peel and a paddle. But you shoot it into the pizza oven. I don't know if you could see that, but it's shooting a little red dot way in the back there. The back corner, the back left corner is the hottest it gets, because that's where the most flame is getting to. And you can see it's going up, and it reads it on this little thermometer right here. But you want to get it around 900 degrees. I used to use this a lot when I first got my pizza oven, but now I know if I put the pizza oven on, it takes about 25 minutes to heat up to the right temperature. But you can get these, they're fairly cheap. Okay, so now we've got to roll out the dough. I use a 00 pizza flour. This one's from King Arthur. You can find it at any grocery store. Really good flour, always worked well for me. Make sure you got a lot of flour down on your mat. And then you just want to start with going around the outside, pushing towards the outside, kind of almost already making that crust, and you want to kind of stretch it, pull it, turn it over. This is probably one of the hardest things to do, because it's going to sometimes be really, really elasticy, but you can also pull it up like this. It's what they call like draping the curtain or some crazy stuff like that. They also call it like a disco, like a DJ when you do it like this, and all different stuff. There's all kinds of stuff online. I've got an actual website. If you email me, I'll send it to you. But this takes a while, so I'm going to work on this for a second. All right, so once you get it rolled out, which takes the longest, make sure you get it all laid on there. Then grab the paddle and kind of stretch it on there. Make sure you get enough flour underneath there. Once you stretch it out, okay, good. I'm going to take the sauce from earlier, get a little bit, sauce it. There's garlic in there, the basil. I don't put too much sauce on it. I don't like it like soupy. Once you got that on there, a little bit more out to the crust there. Alright, looking good, looking good. Put some mozzarella on it. I actually let the mozzarella sit on paper towels, because it can get really, really wet, and when you're making pizza, moisture is not your friend. Got the pizza ready to go. I'm going to put it up here real quick. I'm going to blow underneath it. Just get a little bit of air in the crust. See how it's hovering up like that? And see how it's kind of loose? I see a spot where it's a little bit sticky. All right. Oh, maybe a little too much there. Hold on. Oh, I'm also going to add some pepperonis too while I'm here. I was going to make a Neapolitan, but I'd like some pepperonis on there. So I'm going to go ahead and add those on here. Good. Give it one more blow. It's ready to go. But here's where the launching part. Here's the hardest part. I'm going to bring it in here. It's going to scoot it off. Adjust the heat a little bit. About 1/1000. You can see in the back here how it's bubbling up. You see how the flame hits it, and that back corner is the hottest. See how it's getting bubbly first? I'm going to go ahead and scoop it out. This is my other paddle here. See how it's got bubbly on that corner right there? I'm going to throw it back in here. See how it bubbles up like that a little bit? Use a fork right here. I'll pop it out, put it back in, rotating it. You can also use my pizza peel, which is really easy to adjust the pizza around in the there like that. Making sure it's getting all done. Bottom get really crispy. See it getting done. Notice this back side needs a little bit more, so I'm going to scoop that back in there like that. Smell it, it's getting really, really good. And I'm going to take this around like that. Let it get good and hot. I got to put the basil on here in a second. I don't put it on right away because then it gets like all wilted and dried out, and it tastes really, doesn't really taste actually. So I want to keep it as fresh as possible. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and, looks like it's getting done. Place some basil on here like this. It's my wife's favorite part. And then I'm just going to put it back in there. It's going to do it for about 10 more seconds. Let me go ahead and scoop that out. Looking done. Almost. I got a little bit back corner back there. I want to get a little bit more. Make it nice and brown. We will call that done. Look at that. Once I get in here, now sometimes with like this and Neapolitan pizza, it's good to let it sit for a second because it gets really kind of juicy. You see some moisture, and that'll sink back into the crust. And when you're ready to cut it, I want one of these, I don't know what they call these pizza cutters, but I don't like the wheel one. This one's a lot easier. And you just take it directly across the pizza. There you go.